How's it go? How's it go? How's it go? It's Friday. I know. I'm kind of normally don't keep working past 5, and we're closing in on 5 my time. Uh, Such is the way of things. I'm gonna probably go a little late, not too much. Don't want to go too long. I have to get things. I have to do some other things. So what I'm working on is building a fresh database, just going from scratch. Like if I was to deploy my code, all of it gets successfully deployed. That's the assumption here. Um, and that, it's all there when it's supposed to be. That I can kick off all of my services, and they'll notice what's missing. Oops. And they will build my entire application. So what that looks like is me being able to start all my services just like this, and it builds the database. Now, if they all start successfully, with the exception of the last service, that means they all did and found what they needed to make the database work. So I have no FTZF database right here. It's been built right now because I think the auth will build it on its own if it doesn't find it. And then all these other ones, when they launch, are going, hey, is this there? Is that there? Is this there? Is that there? And if not, it builds it to the point that it can. Now, some of these things don't get built until they're actually called within the application. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do, is test the starting from nothing kind of state. So it has to go through, and basically I have like 14 services right now that work in the back end. And the first ones that get executed are AMG auth, which needs the users to exist. So a user account gets its stuff going. And then, of course, Gateway has to get running. Gateway just checks to make sure all these guys are running. And then the very last thing is the system init. System init actually initializes the database with data. It puts all the data in, and it makes a couple of calls to various services as well, so making sure they exist. And when it tries to call and get information from the database, if they don't exist, those things are supposed to create it, which they do. Now it's calling the system initialize. The very last thing it's going to do is going to call player skills, where it's going to generate from imported data all of the skills required for players, all the players I'm importing from NFL data imports. It's going to populate them and create the skills. Now, you see it create system players is what it's doing right here. So we imported 1,714 players worth of data, as well as 32 teams worth of data. What those are is 32 teams of just for 2009, and it's all the basic data. What their names are, all the goodness going with all of the various team data. Now this gets pulled, these get actually pulled. The data source for the seed data files, 2009 player data and team data, are actually getting pulled from my original database. So there's an export that runs that I can go and create the seed files. So I run those if I feel like I've updated my data to the point where I need it to be available again. So I'll recreate the seed files. Also, there is some code and functionality that's meant to build, like I need to get other data, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that kind of thing, all the way up to the current year. Now this is running, it's pretty significant, assuming it's working. I can go over to the player skills, and it's supposed to be running this. Now I don't know why it's not telling me what it's doing, but it's supposed to be, it does tell me when it fails. All the things blow up that aren't supposed to, blow up. But it's supposedly running. It takes a little while, I know that. Like a couple minutes. So I don't know how long, or if it's in progress. I'm not getting any feedback, which is a problem. I should be getting some feedback. Oh, here we go. It did put some stuff in here. Starting import, debug process, Nate Jones. Did Nate Jones. General manager data import. import diagnostics, 2009 player badge, post import check, 2009 draft missing, drafted by missing 30, game played missing or 0, import NFL general data completed in 16 seconds, 2009 created team stats with 32 records. Well, it did stuff. Did it move on to another task, or is it still processing? Well, it says it created starting import NFL gen. I still expect this to be more. Why am I only seeing like one record? Let's go refresh this and let's see what we got. Normally system init when it's done, or initialize data. So post. Now I expect errors because I found out that one of my data sources no longer allows pulling data from their website. And it's only like 3 or 4 data points because it's not one of the common ones. It's basically a scrape I'm doing off of a website. And let's see, is this doing anything? Nope, it's not created. It's not successfully creating the player pool. But I do have player stats. I have my my 2,000 players and my stats info, which is 32. But something is not quite running. Created team stats with 32 team records. What else we got here? It did create my 34 base teams, which is good. These are the base teams that are going to be existing in the system, 34. It is 34 because there's 32 teams in the league, but a couple of teams have changed their names and they get to be new teams. They're literally new teams in my system. Like the Las Vegas Raiders and the Washington Commanders. I think that's who changed their name. Actually, a couple of them. I think San Diego changed their name, and so did the Chargers. And so did, the San Diego did because they went from San Diego to LA. So there's 3 teams. I don't know why I don't have 35 teams. Why am I missing one? I probably should fix that. I probably didn't even realize I'm missing it. But now that I see that I only have 34, it should be 35. Because, yeah. I don't think anyone else has changed their name. Some teams have changed their colors, but because there's the LA Rams, or San Diego Chargers turned into the LA Chargers. And the Oakland Raiders turned into the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Washington whatevers. Actually, I don't know when the Redskins changed. Alexa, when did the Washington Redskins change their name? What year?
The Washington Redskins retired their name in 2020, temporarily becoming the Washington football team before rebranding as the Commanders in 2022. Would you like to know more about the Washington Commanders' history?
No. Okay, so it turns out that my data points don't only have the Washington Redskins. Then there's the Washington Commanders, but there's also the Washington football team. So technically, I'm going to have, I could try to bypass the Washington football team and just call them the Washington Commanders, but I don't know. It might be interesting to have another team that only existed for a couple of years. Just more teams to play with, right? Hold on. Anyway, hey, anybody know any good? Anybody has a small to medium-sized dog that do you know if somebody wants to rehome? They said, did this finish? Okay, so this is not finishing. I'm not seeing the termination of this. That's not good. Um, and it's not successfully building. So it's not showing me what the problem is, though I think there is a problem here. Import info general data. Post import check. Import diagnostics. Players in batch. Drafted populated. NFL general data import complete. Year 2009, inserted 2006 records. Processed. Huh. All right, let's go see what this says here. Let's see, I could go look at, let's see if my system logging is showing anything. Nope. Okay, so this, I expect this to get populated, but we're not getting there. So we are getting player stats data, and we are getting players. So, but the player pool is supposed to be getting generated by the player stats data. And I don't know why. We're not getting any messages that tell me what's going on. See, here's all of my data. So the data exists, or at least most of it. The problem is I think there's going to be missing data. And I expect there may be errors because we're not getting the information from the one source. It's only like 3 values, but there may be a few things that I don't expect are going to get their stats, but I expect they should still process. So I'm a little confused, and without any kind of feedback from my sources here, it's kind of hard to know. I do have logging. I don't know why it's not triggering. It's like it's silently failing. Let's go look at my, let's go see what my system log is doing here. All right, we're not expanding. Hello. I feel like we're stuck. Like there's some state of being that's not quite right. See, nothing's happening. We're like stuck. All right, So we got player, oh, here's player stats. There is 2K records in player stats. It's player stats data. But player pool is the big nothing. Stats data is my source. So I'm curious as to what's... And they do have various stats assigned to them. But you see, they don't have... Some of them have drafted by. Drafted by is kind of a crucial piece for most of my stuff. I do have drafted by in some of these. Huh. Wasn't actually thinking I had drafted by. I thought that was one of the pieces I lost. All right. Well, I'm still trying to figure out why we aren't terminating here. I'm hungry again. That's what I get for, I don't know, being slow to eat. My wife went out with friends. She's going to bring me home some super nachos. They look good. Except they have black olives, which I'm not a fan. They're just weird. Weird texture, weird flavor. They just don't feel like they apply. It's a flavor that doesn't go with anything. I don't get it. I don't know why people like them so much. So the goal here today was supposed to be to get this all going and then do a quick full demo of start to where I'm at. I'll go through all the steps and processes. But as you can see, I keep running into little things. There's little hiccups. I haven't done a full run through in a while. So this is one of those things that I should do fairly frequently just to make sure that everything is setting itself up correctly. And I'm finding that some of the things that I thought were doing their thing have not been doing their thing. And I haven't done this in like 6 months. Same thing with full deployment to test and prod, and those are failing too. But that could partially be because stuff doesn't build correctly. It's not getting built. So I got to be able to build this all from scratch and then run everything and then have it. And then when it comes up, everything will be there. Because the workflows that I created in GitHub to deploy to test are failing, and it's probably because when it tries to run them or build whatever it deploys, it craps because we're not getting all the way through. So it says that it is running. I thought it was, but I can't type right now. My computer is. Well, these things are working. It's Now, I know it's building stuff, it says, but we're not getting any. Oh, look, we got one record. That's like crazy. One record. That's not good. I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah, this is crazy slow. I don't know why it's taking so long. What are the odds, Mr. Bot? So normally it says create a team stats of 32 team records, and then it shows me the results for one person. This is after 20 minutes. Let's see, does it show me when it put this log in? It didn't show me when it put this log in, but it is 5:11, and this started at 4:50. So it's 20 minutes to process one record. That is insanely slow. The real fix is to cache the scaling values in memory for the duration of each pass rather than hitting the database per player. I don't know either, man. That's not something I've bothered to try to calculate. Right now, it's seeming like the odds are something in the area of 90%. 90% chance that you'll show up during my stream if I'm on for at least an hour. That's what it's been lately. Of course, you didn't show up last night. I was online last night, but it was late. For you, it would have been like, bedtime. Maybe you did show up. Did you show up finally? Maybe you showed up late. I don't remember. I know you were there for my early stream, but not for my late stream. I'll be on again late tonight, too. Playing games though. I won't be working anymore. That might be a good idea. In the dark. Oh. you and your craziness, man. You and your craziness. I had a young man come, and a young man, as in an 11-year-old, was coming chatting me last night about coding. He was working on he was using Scratch. I've never used Scratch. He said it's a visual thing. I didn't know he was 11. He, like you, has a date on his name. And I go, does that make you 10 or 11 years old? And he goes, hey, you guessed my age. I'm like, well, yeah, you have your date, right? Your birth date right on your name. But I was giving him some tips. Not that he asked for them. He didn't ask for tips, but I was giving them to him anyway. things to learn. I mean, he's young enough that if he's coding right now in any capacity, at 11 years old, if he's doing stuff, he's ahead of the game. But I told him he needs to just, there's some key elements of what you need to do. Well, most people would think that's a date. So if that's not a date, then I don't know what it is, but it looks like a date. February 15th, 2020. That's what that looks like to me. Now, not everybody would put a birth date. I've seen a lot of people put dates on their names, but they'll put other dates that matter. The day they got married. They don't all tell me what they are, but I've had people have like birth dates and kid dates and the day they got married, the day they started working solo. I mean, any number of things. Okay. Well, I get there's that many characters, but I don't know how that equals A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I mean, you have A, that's the at sign, sounds like an A. 2, I can see it's B because it's the second letter in the alphabet. I have no idea how dash translates to C, how 1 is D, and then later on 2 is F again. So I don't know how you're using that. It still is not something that's very clear. Some people will use symbolics. 2 is B, 15 is 0, 20 is T. Oh, you're spelling out bot? B-O-T. I thought you were trying to say it was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B. Because I thought A was the at sign and B was a 2 because the second letter. But, okay. So 2 is B, 15 is O, 20 is T. What? I have to laugh. Okay, so that's why you go by bot. I get it now. Yeah, well, now that I see what you did, you just used the letter positions and spelled out bot. I did not think. I was thinking when you said A, B, C, D, F, G that it was just those letters, and somehow represented by each number or symbol in your name. Not that you were spelling out bot, which would explain why you go by bot. Well, I don't know. How does the at symbol in there, Mr. at bot? You used to have Mr. on your name. You took Mr. off. As far as my day goes, it's Friday, so it's pretty good. That's a good start. For the first time in a few months, I actually was able to run relatively pain-free because of an injury on my foot. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't pain-free, but I was able to do it. And it felt good to be able to run again, but I only ran 3.5 miles, and I feel like, blah, I want to run more. I got to get myself back up to my 10 to 15 mile range. It drives me nuts not being able to run. I work out fair often, and I usually do cardio 3 days a week if I can. More if I decide to do a short one like before a workout, before a lifting workout to warm up. But generally I'll do 3 days where I dedicate to cardio. And because of the injury on my foot, I've really had to limit that down to one thing that I do, which is biking on my indoor trainer. And it's just been, I don't mind biking on my indoor trainer. I just don't like doing it every freaking time. It's boring. It gets boring. I mean, I have my TV and stuff, but it's just like, I want to do something else. But a lot of times I'll either go box or elliptical or run or swim. Now swim I could still do, but I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to swimming. I always go out there being afraid of the the cold pool, which is only cold for like 10 seconds. I get in, put on my goggles. Once I start swimming, I'm good. I mean, it's like you get used to it. Yeah, it works, man. Now that I know what it is. But how does the at work? I mean, why do you have the at symbol? Is it if you don't put Mr., so you're not really saying it's not a spacer or a separator of any kind. It's not. Is it just there to give it because you can? Because you can put an at sign, you went with it? Sorry, I'm reading the results of an analysis I had AI do, and it's telling me what it determined. It doesn't say how many it processed, but normally when I see this message say scaling values updated during update and it shows how many it processed, this tells me it's going for its second round trip. But I don't. So the next time that it'll show me that again potentially, but there shouldn't be any more scaling updates. Usually it's only supposed to take 2 trips. The reason it does 2 trips is the first trip it goes through everybody, builds stats, and then each one gets its base stats, and it goes, hey, let's build a scale. So if anybody who's got a higher scale value than the previous, it'll reset the scale value to the new one. Same with lower. So if you got the lower and higher, so it builds up this array, finding basically the max while it's processing all the players. And then it goes through and processes all the players again, except this time all the scale values are now set because none of the players can beat those max the top and bottom because only the players that had it will match it and everybody else is going to be in between. So now I can scale on the full range. But the first time through, it's just kind of reading and finding where those max ranges are. And then it comes back and sets those values. So I could see, and it's recommending that I do some of that stuff in memory, which I am not. It's just looking at the database and updating it. But I think it's only going to happen. Well, I guess it does happen every time it makes a call, but I don't know. I don't know how that's going to set. Really? In YouTube, every name has an at? No, it doesn't. Does it? Really? How come I don't remember seeing an at in the front of everybody's name? Maybe it's because yours starts with a number. I don't remember everybody having a name, an at symbol. All right, you made me want to go prove check. Now I don't think that's right. I think it's because you just have numbers in your name. Because I don't think that's right. I'm gonna argue with you. I could be totally wrong. I just didn't notice it. I don't know. Let's see. Does this guy? Do these guys? Thing is, you gotta have. There has to be a. Do these have comments? It's like I gotta go. I gotta find something that's live though. I don't even know who goes. How do I find live in YouTube? It goes to show how often I visit other people. Subscriptions, history. More from YouTube. YouTube Studios, YouTube Kids, YouTube. Where's YouTube Live? No wonder no wonder nobody comes and visits. It's like there's no way to really get to live. How do you get to live stuff? That's probably why nobody comes, because there's just not that. That's why YouTube's. Oh, here you go. It's live. All right. Anybody look interesting to watch? String hip hop. Let's listen to string hip hop. I probably shouldn't talk because they're gonna probably be like, "Hey, you're listening to something that's owned by somebody." Okay, so, oh, you're right. Everybody has an @ sign. Huh. I'll be dang. How come I never noticed that? I just thought it was. It just stands out on your name. I don't know why. But you're right. All these people have @ signs. It's probably because most of my viewers are Twitch viewers, and the tool I'm using shows both YouTube and Twitch on my same stream, and most of them they don't have the @ sign. Not most of them, all of them. And so when I see just one person pop up and yours has the @ and I have a couple of other people at Nintendo and a couple other people who show up, I just don't know why I never noticed the @ sign. It's like it's one of those things my eyes just said, nah, that doesn't exist. Is this copyrighted? Am I going to get in trouble for listening to this while I'm... This is hip-hop, really? It's fast. It's got a fast beat strings, but... I guess there is a little bit of a beat in there. You know, there used to be a group called Nothing But Strings, and they played the violin, and they were basically a hip hop-ish strings. There's also another one called Black Violin. They're basically the same thing, and they also do the same style of a violin, upbeat music, and I actually really like it. It sounds cool. It's just cool music to listen to. Unfortunately, it is copyright, so I'll probably get in trouble for listening to it. Usually I just listen to something like this, which is copyright-free music you can listen to in the background. So I guess I learned that. So now I know I learned something new today, which is, I guess, a good thing, right? So I don't know if this is going to complete. Did it actually create? I should have some player pool data at least in existence, if that's actually doing anything. Yeah, see, something's still not right, unless it's still generating my stats here. But I think that's supposed to be creating player pool data. And I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing my player pool data getting created, and it's super slow. I don't like it. It says it optimized. Oh, there we go. Ron Bartel. So we got through pass defense skill. Back to Ron Bartel. Man, that took forever again. This is, I don't know. Yeah, that's really slow. I gotta stop it. I think it's just driving me bonkers. I don't want to wait. I mean, this has been forever. It's time to stop this puppy. Kill it, man. Time for you to come to an end. Whoa, everything just comes to a crash. All right, so hopefully that'll terminate this too. Yeah. Okay. So what that means is, I'm gonna try one more time. Supposedly I got some updates in here, so with any luck. Four and a half. I don't even want to know how you got the half, but hey, if they're an active community, that's pretty good. I go through streaks, man. I sometimes I'll have 3 guys that'll show up every day for 3 months, and then they won't show up ever again. You're one of those guys right now, but Nintendo used to be one. Karama shows up all the time, but he only shows up, he says hi, and then I never hear from him again. I can talk to him, ask him questions. He'll like say 1 or 2 things occasionally, but most of the time he's just quiet. Just comes in. I'm basically white noise for him. He's learning to be a programmer too. I think he's about 20 something. And then Nintendo also does some coding stuff. I don't know what he's doing for a living. Is that how you measure? That's how you determine if they're a half a person, if they're short? So how short do you have to be considered a half? So if the average person, the average male is 5'9", 5'10", that would make them what? About just under 3 feet tall to be a half a person? So somewhere between the upper 2s and the lower 3s. Sorry, dude. You don't qualify as a full person. And it always rounds up? Suck if it round down. So it always rounds up. So if they can get over 3 feet tall, they get to be a full person. All right, let's try this again. Oops, did I not? Did I blow it up? Something is amiss, man. My system is not replying nicely or playing nicely. Trying to figure out why some of my stuff won't respond. Let's go ahead and close this. I don't need to know. What did I do? Let's go ahead and see. This chair is killing me, man. It's just not a good chair. Oh, it's hard and it's just weird, and it's just, for some reason my back starts hurting when I sit on it. I may have to go back to my other chair, even though it's, no, I can't. I keep thinking I can go back to it, but I can't because it completely broke when I picked it up. I knew it was dying because the compression cylinder inside of it, the shock or whatever, was collapsing. And I picked it up to take it in the garage, and it just broke off. I mean, literally just fell into two pieces. It's like, oh, I guess this chair is done. So I said, well, I have an extra chair in the garage. It looks pretty, like it's pretty decent. It's been sitting there for a couple of years. So I'll bring it inside. And I brought it in, and I'm using it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a garbage chair. It's hard as a rock, even though it looks soft. And it sits weird. Yeah, it's just driving me bonkers. There's no amount of sitting on this thing in any form that's not going to cause me pain and agony. Okay, it's not agony, but it's not great either. So it's one of the things I'm learning though with it is to stop leaning on my armrests because it doesn't have any. When I first brought it in, I'd be looking at my phone and I'd go, because my body is mentally trying to lean on the armrest. And eventually I'd go, wait, there's no armrest. And I'd kind of lean, nope, don't do that. No. But I'm starting to finally get used to not leaning on the armrest because don't have any. I think I may actually, I prefer this. I knew every time I lean on my armrest that it was probably not good to not lean on your armrest, but I did it anyway. So I'm thinking I might need to go without armrests. I need some chair variety is what I need. Not just a better office chair, but I think I want one of those kneel down things. I've used them before. Where did I have one? Was it at work? Somewhere I had one. They're basically these things that are designed for you to kneel. They let you put your leg on it and you put your feet on the back part. And essentially you can just kneel. And it's not as hard on your knees as say trying to kneel on the floor directly. I think it's got a little butt thing. So you could kind of lean back a little bit. It's like there's this butt thing that leans back and your knees go on the pad like that. And you're kneeling on it and then your butt leans back against the pad and back. But your weight is, for the majority part, on your knees or on your legs. And then there's also, there's no back support, but you don't need it because the way you sit, there's no leaning back. You're forced to sit kind of in a straight up position, which is fine. I mean, you could still kind of slouch if you wanted to, but you would be really short because you'd slouch down. You'd be sitting at the desk and then you'd slouch down and you'd be like typing. All right, so we've initiated the player skills again. Are we getting any further? Still not. I just initialized again. It doesn't seem to be any faster. I expect to see more. Oh, wait. Oh, whoa. That did go way faster. What the heck? It actually finished. Holy moly. It's like it did the whole thing. All right, that was way quicker. I don't know. And it's showing me in 100s. I probably don't need 100s. I could probably set this at like... It's kind of weird though, because it shows... It's not printing each one. It's doing them in gaps. Oh yeah, now it's going. 900, 1,000. It has to go all the way up to 1883. All right, so that's way better. And I don't know for sure. I'm looking at it. It made a fair amount of. What it did is it reduced the number of database calls by adjusting some of the calls. You know, it's probably someone who wants to sell you YouTube or wants to sell you art. Hey, I can fix up your site. What they usually do is they come to your site and then they start talking to you like they know you. Oh, you know, I really like your site. You've been doing really good at this. Good job on your site. And then they kind of they go silent for a bit, and then they'll talk to you a little bit more. So, you know, what is it you do? And I'm like, you know, that right there is suspicious, right? Because it's like they'll ask you something weird about about your thing after telling you how good it is. It's like, you don't even know what it is. Why are you telling me it's good? But they come in like that, and then bam, the ball drops, as they say, and they start going, hey, I do, and they'll say something like, oh yeah, I do artwork for YouTubers or streamers, or I do artwork, and they start trying to bait you into asking about their artwork, right? And then they go, I could update your site for you. I could make it better if you want, you know. And they don't charge you. They don't say anything about cost yet, but it's like I get one of them at least once a month. For a while there, I was getting a lot, but I was blocking them because they're just trying to get into your YouTube stream and get you to buy something. Get you to pay them to, you know, do some kind of artwork for you. Now, if you have money and you want to try it, feel free. But most of these people, a good chunk of them, are just using AI art, and they'll give you some weird little logo they created with AI, and you can tell. I had one person do it because I was curious what they came up with, and I compared it to some of the ones I generated in AI, and I'm like, the ones I generated in AI are better than what you came up with, but yours looks a lot like this. And I go, are you using AI to create these images? And she never replied back again. Never heard from her again. And I was like, okie dokie. Yeah, it's just people who act like they know you. They don't know you. Okay, so there's some problems with my scale values because they're all at 99. That's not good. It's never good when everything is a 99. But why? I should probably figure out why Mr. Ron Bartel is getting logged even all the time. So he's the only one, but he's got some definite weird scale values. But it's not done. It's still going. But it is making progress way faster. It went through all the players like I expected. Usually it takes 2, because the first one it updates the scaling values. The second one it runs through and finishes. Build all flat stats. Populating 103 stat fields for 2009. And so this it should be starting to build. Nilly vanilly. Who's Nilly? X Nilly Vanille. Do you ever remember Milli Vanilli? The group that got in trouble for lip syncing? I think they were Milli Vanilli, M-I-L-L. Hey, my player pool has data in it. Yay! But my stats are all broken. Everything's broken. Whoa, that's way broken. Some of them have valid numbers, but something is not working right. I think... something is not working. Why? Because, okay, so 99 is never supposed to happen. What the defaults are supposed to be are these, 56. 56 are defaults for players that don't actually have the stat. So 56 is like the lowest you can be. That's like the worst. If you have a stat, like they don't have some of these stats, like, I mean, he should have tackling. He should have a lot of these stats. Pass blocking skill. That's an offensive thing, though. Why would he have a pass blocking skill? That one calculated correctly. I think pass blocking is built off of the min max. Most min maxes. Yeah, we definitely have some issues. They certainly aren't going to be a 99 when he's a kicker. He's a defensive back. So yeah, we got a little bit of a problem on my scale logic. Didn't actually finish though, did it? Are we there yet? No, still going. I don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, is that part of the... It shows me at the min max. Yeah, these aren't right. It's interesting that it only shows this stuff. Yeah, everybody's got wrong numbers. Is Ron Bartel number 1? No, that's Flozell Adams. I don't know. So I don't know who Ron Bartel is. He's just some random dude it's picking up. I probably have some catch on it. There's something about him that's making him be logged. I don't know. Maybe I'm using... maybe he was a test character and I put in the deep... I put him in as a sampler and I just never removed it. It's probably just hanging values. I think it's still doing something. I don't know what. Still something. It's still slow. So it did create them, but it took 14 minutes to run, which I still think is high. So he's source player 754. I don't know why he's got a 3000. This is just weird. This would be like the ultimate great number right there. But I think this is all of Ron Bartel's information. This is processing Ron Bartel, and it shows you all of his skill values, which is not supposed to ever happen. And it's just weird. His seventh? No, he's not even the last one. I don't even know why I'm getting that. Huh. Is that the 2 of 3? Did it do that again? It did that twice. Because it does that there, and then it does it up here too. Two of 4, and then 2 of 3. Hmm. 103 stat fields for year 2009. Skill values updated. Two of 3. I'm seeing that multiple times. That shouldn't. That it's not counting correctly. Process players pass 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 2 of 4. One of 4 and then completion 1 of 4, 2 of 4, then completion 2 of 4, and then it builds flat stats, which is, I would guess 1 is pulling them into the stat data, and then 1 is processing the actual stat values. Still kind of slow. But I think one is just getting the data, and one pulling the data in and formatting it. And then one is generating stats data. But it's not working. Huh. I wonder if I have this guy. I mean, I kind of like that it's showing me this because it tells me that it's broken. Let's see if I can find this. Change this. I don't want this to be 100. 500 is fine. And then no, 2 of 4, and then we build the flat stats. Ron Bartel gets processed as part of that, and it didn't change the second time through. Tattoos? No, I'm a tattoo-free person, man. 4:97 p.m. I don't know what that is. Wait, if you're in the U.S., the latest it could possibly be is 9 o'clock right now on a Friday. I thought you were in the U.S. Is this the same guy who was up till 2 a.m. the other day when I was talking to him when I was up at 10 p.m.? The kid I was talking to last night must have been on the West Coast because he was still up at 10 o'clock, 10:30. He's 11 years old, so I can't imagine he's up. He did finally tell me, "Oh, I got to go to bed. Talk to you later. Bye." I said, "Okay, bye." So I don't know if his mom says, "Hey, go to bed. What are you doing up?" I mean, some kids, you know, their parents don't really see. Actually, I think I was pretty lenient with my kids too. I let them stay up. Once they, I mean, not when they were little, but I'm thinking once they got to almost 10 or older, I started letting them just stay up. I mean, I told them it was not a good idea. They were going to be tired, and they eventually learned that staying up too late. I did kind of emphasize going to sleep if they were up too stupid late. But they started kind of getting the feeling they didn't like being tired when it was time, because I didn't let them like skip school. So they kind of like started learning. That's not a time, man. Might be a common way you measure time. It's not the way I measure time. .497.4 p.m. is not a time unless you're measuring. Dude, it's not even a time. If you're living in the U.S., you're either the same time as me or later than me. So unless you're doing some weird, which I'm guessing you are, because that sounds like something you would do, Mr. 21520. My people. Who are my people? So we finally finished this thing? Yeah. Let's see, the initial pass player is a lot faster, but then it logs a bunch of scale values, which are, I'm guessing, defined high and low for the players, and they all set to 99, which is not supposed to happen. So I'm gonna have to go through and figure out why my scale values are getting broken. It's probably because I'm missing those values, I think. So that's gonna take that's gonna be a whole new set of work to figure out why this is happening. The I wrote requisites. It's supposed to be requisite. Stat value in their data set. They get the min scale value. Determined by player. Lowest. Requisite skill values. Should not happen. All right, man. I'm gonna log off for a bit. I'm gonna go do dinner and I don't know, watch some TV, and then when I come back later and tomorrow, I'll probably just be gaming, enjoying some new game of mine. I've got a couple of games that I have been gifted over the last couple of months between my birthday and Christmas. And I might try to play some Final Fantasy or even Dispatch. Dispatch is kind of fun. I don't know what see, this is another one of those attempts to gaslight. Dude, it doesn't work on me, man. You're not gonna. Your craziness is not gonna work on me. You do what you got to do, man. But it's not gonna have any effect on me. I see what you're trying to do, but you're gonna have to find some more gullible person. I'm going to sign off and start my weekend. I'll be back at this again, probably tomorrow night. Till then, or till I'm gaming again.